Welcome to Guide to Survive. The world is a big, beautiful place, full of incredible and breathtaking sights and experiences. It's also doing everything it can to kill you, and so that's where this program fits in. Before you venture into the great outdoors, you need to learn about all of the terrifying and mystical creatures that lurk in the woods, knock on your window, and hide in your toilet. With this guide, you'll learn how to identify a would-be assailant, analyze its strengths and weaknesses, and deal with it effectively. By the end of your training, you'll be ready to take on any creep or cryptid that crosses your path. So here's to you, and the great adventure that lies ahead. Let's begin.
Target analysis. Name: Madam, Lady, or Miss Koi Koi in Nigeria, Madam High Heel or Madam Moke in Ghana, and Miss Konkoko in Tanzania. Class: Parasapien, Vengeful Spirit. Habitat: boarding schools, most prominently Nigeria, but also across Africa. Lifespan: not applicable. Strengths: invisibility, can become physical and non-physical at will, and a reputable fashionista. Weaknesses: bound to restricted locations. Overall threat level: 7. Behavior: boarding schools have always been nightmarish places. Institutions filled with monotonous tutelage, unsatisfactory slop passed off as dinners, vengefully unfulfilled teachers, raging hormonal youngsters, sports day, and you have to live there? It's unthinkable. But across the African continent, there is one more horror to add into this most sinister establishment. Her name? Madam Koi Koi. The details of her origin differ slightly across the continent. However, her legacy remains the same. It begins many years ago in a Nigerian boarding school, with a beautiful teacher known for striding down the halls in her iconic red high heel shoes, which would sound out with a koi koi noise as she walked. Unfortunately, this beauty was only skin deep, as it is said she was regularly abusive to her students. One account details how in one incident she struck a female student, injuring her ear. No longer able to deny her transgressions, she was fired, and while travelling home, she was involved in an accident where she suffered mortal wounds. Yet before she passed, her mind and soul so filled with anger, swore revenge on the school and all of the students within. In another account, the actions of the teacher and her comeuppance are far more severe. Her depiction remains the same, but the abuse of her students has escalated to flogging the poor children over the most minor of infractions, or sometimes seemingly just because she enjoyed it. Once again, her behavior was ignored and the abuse continued. This would be her undoing, as one night while she was leaving the school grounds for home, she was ambushed by her tormented students. They beat her, with one student even going so far as to take one of her beloved shoes and use it in the assault. By the time they had stopped, it was too late. They'd killed her. Afraid of what may become of them, they conspired to hide her body in an inconspicuous place within the school grounds. Any foul play would later be put on local criminals, and thus the children would have successfully gotten away with murder. But life is rarely so convenient. Now, it is important to note that in Ghana there is a similar being who haunts the boarding schools, named Madam High Heel or Madam Moke. Curiously, this spirit was also a teacher in life, though unlike her Nigerian counterpart, she was not abusive. Rather, she worked with a number of troubled students, trying to help get them back on the right path, though with little success despite her efforts. One day, a young lad stole one of her high-heel shoes and ran across the street with it, waving it at her all the while. As she gave chase, she was fatally hit by a car and died there in the street. It is said that should a single red high-heel shoe be spotted in one of the Ghanaian boarding schools, you will hear her voice call out, demanding the return of her pilfered shoe. At this point you must run and shout her name, Madam High Heel, back at her. A somewhat whimsical haunting, more akin to a children's game when compared to the sinister actions of the Nigerian ghost, which we will cover shortly. To further note, Madam Koi Koi and or Madam High Heel is not the only ghost haunting boarding schools. There is a creature known as Pinky Pinky, who is often related to Madam Koi Koi. However, from a personal perspective, it sounds a little too different from the Madam's story. Therefore, I believe it is most likely an entirely separate being, which also oddly enough haunts boarding schools. A guide for another time, perhaps. Now, back to the scary story. Ambiance, please. After the death of their former teacher, the students had hoped to find peace themselves. Tragically though, the students all began to disappear, until there was only one left. The young man who had used her shoe to enact his revenge. With the disappearance of his fellow students, he tried to confess what had happened to the other pupils, but to no avail, as all believed he was simply trying to get attention. Terrifyingly, the boy had been hearing that terrible koi koi sound, ringing throughout the halls, searching for him. One night, he simply couldn't take any more, and went outside of the dorm while the other pupils were sleeping. His body was found the next morning, beaten and bloodied. His tale proven true, at least to his fellow students. As a result, the school was closed down and the other pupils were sent to alternative boarding schools. Here and there, they spread the tale of Madam Koi Koi and her terrible haunting. Yet somehow, despite her revenge on those who killed her, she persists, attaching to other boarding schools and exacting her horrific atrocities on those poor students unfortunate enough to hear her footsteps echoing towards them. Legend has it that should you hear her footsteps and choose to seek her out, it's the last time you'll ever be seen. The former teacher now seeks to educate new students in the finer points of fear. Singing and whistling will carry throughout the halls, accompanying that most dreadful koi koi sound that announces her approach. During the day, should a student be late for attendance or try to leave too early, they will attract the attention of Madam Koi Koi, who will physically torment them, such as a slap, as they traverse the school grounds. She will also haunt the restrooms, hallways, and classrooms during this time, slamming open and closed the doors to frighten the poor, unsuspecting students. But when night falls, the hauntings intensify. At this time, she will move towards the dormitories, where children asleep in their beds may well be woken up by those distinctive footsteps, or worse, her voice whispering in their ears. Any wandering their dorm halls in the dark may just receive a terrible fright when approached by her ghostly form, or perhaps some disembodied red heels marching towards them. However, she cannot haunt more than one location at a time, and she is unable to haunt off of school grounds. Suddenly being sent home doesn't seem so bad, eh? Ha! Good luck getting me now, loser! What we know of Madame Koi Koi is truly a terrifying case. An abusive soul in life that has carried on into death, ruthlessly tormenting the young she has seemingly so long despised. Those attending boarding schools, so far from the comforts of home and the embrace of loved ones, must not only traverse the everyday trials of higher education, but do it with a vengeful spirit, perhaps lurking, watching, waiting. The most fortunate may go their entire time without ever seeing those blood-red shoes wandering the halls. Although, I suppose there is one silver lining. No matter where you are on school grounds, or what you're doing, you'll always hear her coming. Stratagem. So, here's the scenario. Jar 19 has enrolled you into a boarding school over in Nigeria. You are to gain as much information on the nation's impressive range of butterfly population, as well as improve your elocution lessons because you are in dire need of work. Aghast, while sleeping one night you hear the unmistakable koi koi sound of the madam herself, ringing throughout the halls. Rightfully so, you go to investigate. Your plan of attack. Firstly, exchange student. Transfer out of there immediately and never step foot in a school again. You'll be a dropout, but you'll also be my dropout. Now get back to work. Secondly, blissful ignorance. Ignore it. Pretend you heard nothing. Go back to sleep and spend the rest of your time at boarding school avoiding the teacher who wants to beat you up. Just like the good old days, eh? Thirdly, teacher's pet. Harness your inner weirdo and do all you can to suck up to Madame Koi Koi so that A, she won't murder you, and B, your grades might improve. Honestly, I've had slower employees, but I doubt I could name them. Fourthly, exorcism extravaganza. There's always time for an exorcism. Grab some holy water, track down that overdressed madam, and send her off to the next plane of existence. Have fun grading papers where you're going, love. Fifthly, wondrous work. You big nerd. Pop quiz. Question number 1. Does Madame Koi Koi only haunt boarding schools? Answer, yes. Madame Koi Koi haunts boarding schools exclusively. Question number 2. Has Madame Koi Koi been seen beyond the African continent? Answer, no. To this day, Madame Koi Koi has only been reported within African nations. Question number 3. Can Madame Koi Koi cause physical harm to those who come into contact with her? Answer, yes. Madame Koi Koi is able to physically strike students and has even made them disappear. Question number 4. Will Madame Koi Koi always appear as a disembodied pair of shoes? Answer, no. This may be true in some instances, but in others she can appear as a full human being, or even be seen without her feet. Question number 5. Is it true that Madame Koi Koi will only haunt at night? Answer: no. While most dangerous at night, Madame Koi Koi will also haunt the school during the day. If you scored 0 to 1, then you've been brought to heel. If you scored 2 to 3, then you might be alive, but you now have some real soul searching to do. And if you scored 4 to 5, exceptional work. You were a shoo-in to win. Conclusion. Excellent work. I'd say you're ready to get out there and face whatever challenges plot against you. And if you're not, then don't worry. You can re-watch these survival guides as much as you like. And they're non-refundable. I'm very proud of the progress you've made, and I know you're going to take the future in your stride. I've got a good feeling about you, Dorothy.
And your little dog, too.
Good luck, and don't die.